Good morning, everyone. You're in the office with Joseph Skoda, part of Social Media Shows Network and part of part of life in general. Actually, I live here in California. We have a lovely guest today who's going to talk to us a little bit about what makes her tick and what makes her write and what makes her think. I've been interviewing actors and directors and authors and homemakers and bankers and everything else above the sun. And everyone has a unique story to tell. And that's why I like to meet different people from different walks of life and different parts, not just of the United States, but of the world. So I want you to give me or help me give a warm welcome to Veronica Waterfall Adams. How you doing, Waterfall?
Hi, how you doing? Thanks
We're
for having
doing
me.
great. We're doing great. Just tell everybody where you living right now.
I live in Mobile, Alabama.
Mobile. I've been there. Spent a lot of time in the Panhandle and back and forth. I know the area very well. In fact, I
Mm.
was there just a year ago in that area. So we know you're an author, but tell us a little bit about your background.
Well, I was born in Paducah, Kentucky, raised in Mobile, Alabama. I have a associate's degree in general education from Bishop State Community College, and with and I have a bachelor of in art history with a minor in dramatic arts from the University of South Alabama.
Wow.
I said published two poetry books. They can be found on Amazon.com and other outlets. If not, I'll try to get them on there. I'm trying to get the audiobook versions together and working on the third book. And what else? Oh, he's also available in the ebook and paperback as you're looking at right now.
Sure. And I see we talked about this before we even got started with the interview about V. What does V mean? Free to be V, elected to be V. Tell us a little bit about that.
V, free to be V. Well, the V part, my uh government name first name is Veronica, and I'm
Sure.
called V for short by family.
Sure. I have a good friend of mine. Her name is Dolores, but we call her DD. And it's pretty exciting how things like that, I like that V is so what made you get into poetry? Poetry's hard.
Well, they have done spoken word poetry, and some of these books have the spoken word poetry I have done, and
Yeah,
also I always did want to write a book of one day, just didn't know about what, and then I just haven't had these collection of poetry, so why not?
that's one way to get started. Have you ever written other things? I see that you're a blogger also, and I'm a blogger,
Yeah,
and we know with that's tough to be consistent. I've probably a year
yes,
since I've written something
yeah.
substantial.
Yeah, and I
Yeah,
might need to get back on my blogs as well, and also, what was I going to say? Working on the
yeah,
third book, and hopefully I'll try to get it out next year.
sure,
Certain genres require a lot of research.
sure, sure. Where do you get where do you go for research and some of the things you put in the writing?
Like my own everyday life, what's going on in the world. Depending on the genre I'm writing, maybe
Yeah.
like historical facts and other research I might find in books or the internet.
Oh yeah, the internet sometimes can sway us in the wrong direction if we're not careful.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's a sad reality. I was joking a little bit about Alabama. I'm originally from Ohio, and during college football season, we're rivals. Michigan, Bama, Florida, Georgia, the
Yeah.
Big Ten, and sometimes I don't talk to people during football season. Oh, we can't talk till that's all over. So, what are some of the activities you like outside of writing? What are some of your hobbies?
Well, I do like to read. I do like to dance.
Okay.
I do like to cook. I do like to sing.
Oh, love it. I love it.
Tennis,
Yeah.
basketball.
You like all that sport. in high school, I was undefeated in tennis.
Really?
Undefeated. Now, yeah. And today I don't even know how to score, let alone play the game. It's been, been a long time since I've been out of high school. I actually retired from the Air Force a little while back and got to travel the world because of it. That's always pretty exciting. So tell us a bit about dancing. I love dancing and singing. I'm a karaoke person. I don't do much outside of karaoke.
Well, the dance. Well, I haven't danced since I was little, and also I have a poem. It's like based on the history of African American dance.
Yeah,
Even though it's featured in this book,
yeah,
it has more like a revised version. I'm trying to adapt it in the staging or screen,
sure.
and I might break some lines down on like what they mean by the if we have enough time.
We got time. In fact, I was looking, I think it was at one of your videos, and we have to dance. We have to dance.
We
We have
have
to
to
dance here. We have to dance there. I think that's what you're alluding to. Just a little bit more
like
about that.
well, African American dance is like the dance. For example, it's like there's between the African aesthetic dance and the
Yeah,
Eurocentric aesthetic dance. While like the Afro aesthetic, like the African aesthetic dance, it has
yeah,
like more like isolations. Like for example, like you can see isolations
yeah.
while like the Eurocentric kind of dances have taught like more in like a formal setting, like let's say ballet.
Sure, sure.
While like Afrocentric dance is like taught more like in like non-formal settings, like let's say a cookout or watching TV, different spaces.
Sure.
Like what I said in my poem, like church,
Yeah,
the club, community centers, competition television, of course,
sure.
universities like HBCUs, which is historically black colleges, like around like the football season, how those bands dance,
Oh, yeah,
those
that's
marching
amazing.
bands dance. Okay, yeah, all right. So here we go. Like as a people, we have to dance. Way back in the motherland, we always had to dance. Like the motherland, which is Africa.
Sure,
Yeah, and I'm recite the poem and break down some things.
sure.
Through times of joy, sadness, to heal, rites of passage, we always have to dance. Like, for example, like rites of passage, like it's like certain dances, like a girl, like like at an age where she's about to be like recognized by the community
Sure,
as a
sure.
woman, and like the dance was like hip movement because starting to develop hips.
Oh,
And
yeah, good
like
point.
certain
Good point.
funerals, like celebrate the life and like times of joy, like let's say a wedding. And also there's like a peoples, like Africa's a continent, but it's like different countries, different peoples, and like different dances. Like for example, there's a peoples called the Wadabe. It means people of the taboo. In the rainy season, they have a festival called the Gira Wall.
Yeah,
It's kind of like it's like single and married women. It's kind of like a pageant, but single and married women are like the judges or whatever. And it's like a certain dance called the Yashe. These men they do it for like it's like set like days, like kind of like a test of endurance. That's what that dance is. And I might need to
sure.
read up more, watch that documentary more again about it. And that through times of enslavement, we have to dance. Even when they try to take it away, we dance through the shade. Like, and now we're good. It's slavery times,
Yeah,
where like the dance is kind of a little more restricted, like certain moves that the slaves could not do, it couldn't use drums because like in Africa, that's where drums
Yeah.
come from. It's like transfer like different messages. That's like before we
Oh,
had like telephones.
sure, sure.
Yes, they didn't have the drums, so they clapped their hands. They beat on tables. They beat on counters. They beat on drawers, and like to try to take it away and like through the shade. And they made there was a dance called the cakewalk. It kind of makes fun of the Eurocentric like dance. It looks kind of stiff. It's called the cakewalk.
Okay.
Through the juke joints and to the migration, we have the dance. Even when it's time to pay the rent, we had to dance. Now we're in the early 20th century. Like slavery been abolished and in 1865 in the United States, and
Yeah.
also the early 20th century. If you ever seen The
The
Colored
notes.
Purple or The Great Debaters, it's like a place
Absolutely.
out in like, the woods or whatever called a juke joint.
Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. I remember that.
Up in the deep south, with the moonshine and how they dance and the migration. That's where a lot of African Americans in the deep south they moved from, like as up north as New York or Midwest like Chicago
Sure.
or west as in like California, and also around this time like, the Harlem Renaissance,
Mhm.
and also like the rent party was like a party where like charge people to like party with you, but the money goes to the rent.
Sure, sure.
Through the through depression and worldwide war, we have the dance. Now we're in the 1930s and 40s. We have the Great Depression and worldwide war, World War II, and the United States got involved in the 1941 after Pearl Harbor, and it was
Yep.
like the swing era, Lindy Hop,
Yep.
Jitterbug, and I forgot to mention the 1920s, like the Charleston skinny girls could do that dance because the Lord knows I tried. Josephine Baker,
Yeah.
Speakeasies, and also the motion pictures show
Oh yeah.
African American dance, and also around this time, like I said, 30s and 40s, stormy weather. Catherine Dunham, she was one of my favorite dancers. Like jump blues, swing era, the zoot suits. If you haven't seen Malcolm X on 1992, starring Denzel Washington, like that
Yep.
dance scene. But before he came Malcolm X, he was a gangster known like was red, had that red zoot suit on, and then now in the dance studios in the sock hops, we have the dance on television. And through civil unrest, we have to dance live and in color. We can get smooth and we can get rough, live and in color, and integrated. Now we're in the 50s and 60s. That's where like television start popping up, and we start see African American
Right.
dance on television, like American Bandstand and Alan Freed show. Well, that show
Mhm.
got canceled because Frankie Lyman and Teenagers,
Yeah.
he danced with a white girl, and people had a problem with it. Like,
Such a
apparently, the
different
sponsors
time.
they
Yeah.
had a problem with, so they had to get canceled. And we have like rock and roll,
Sure.
Motown.
No, Motown era. Well, what's your favorite genre? You have a favorite genre or
There are
type of
different
dance or
genres,
decade?
like hip hop,
Mhm.
reggae, jazz, R&B, different genres. And also, it's around the time, like, so we can get smooth, we get rough. Like, for example, you saw like Motown acts in like the 50s and the 60s,
Yeah,
like
that's
the
good stuff.
Supremes, the Temptations,
So yeah,
like how
Supremes.
their dance were kind of smooth. But then back in the 50s, 60s, you saw Tina Turner back when she was with Ike.
Oh yes.
And then James Brown, how they compare to they dance, the kind of rough. It's
A
like
different kind of smooth. Different kind of smooth.
it was kind of rough. Like for example, like Tina Turner at that time, how she was dancing, they
Uh,
consider her like unladylike at the time. Like how short her skirts were, and how she
yeah.
danced, how she looked, and how she sung.
She was powerful. Powerful, like Aretha Franklin and all of them. It was a good time.
Forrest Ballard and also the Marvelettes, how they danced. They were like smooth with their dance. They were kind of rough with their dance, and also like television kind of like to like more not only color television,
Mhm.
and then like more people of different races dancing with like black people. Now here through the Soul Train days and the disco nights,
Ooh,
we have to
oh,
dance. Now we're to the 1970s. In
sure.
1971, that's when early 70s when Soul Train
Soul
was
Train.
what came out.
What was the name of that guy that was in
Don
charge of that?
Cornelius.
Yeah, Cornelius. That's right. He was something different.
And then the disco nights. You heard of Studio 54?
Yep.
Like disco clubs, the disco ball and the floor light up, and also voguing. That it originated from Egypt, ancient Egyptian hieroglyphics.
Okay.
And also this year we're celebrating the 50th year of hip hop. So this is around the time we see early hip hop dances like Rerun and Tony Basil. They were part of this dance troupe called the Lockers. So that was like early hip hop dance.
Rerun. Okay. Okay.
With,
That's a
with
big
B,
guy. He was moving.
yeah, with BET, MTV, and VH1, we have to dance. Now we're in the 80s and 90s. This
Yep.
watching music video was one of the ways I learned how to dance, and I'm also a millennial. And I forgot to mention the box. It was a music channel where you had to pay for what music video you request.
Yeah.
So we have like 80s like break dancing, breaking one and two,
Wow.
and And through social media, we have the dance. Now we're the 21st century. It's
Yep.
when social media is starting to come out. In fact, I remember my final semester in high school. It's when YouTube got started. And it's around Facebook got started. That's where African American dance started to spread around social media.
Sure.
At Broadway, church, the club, community centers, competition, Hollywood, television, social gatherings, universities, all over the world, we have to dance. We even put our own spin on it. Because of this, I shake what my ancestors gave me and get my Jackson on. So to the future and beyond, we have to dance. Like those places I just mentioned before, like people learn how to do African American dance that way in different occasions and events
Sure.
and all over the world. The of Black Africans wasn't just in America; it was in different parts of the world, like Europe,
Yeah.
uh, Air, um, South America, different places, and like they have their own like African dance and where they were enslaved, and they put their own like spin on what they do, and also mentioned like black people in ballet,
Mm.
like their own spin on African American dance, and like for example, there was jazz dance. Like her Bob Fosse,
Yep.
Jack
Yep.
Jerome. I remember this. His name was Jerome. I forgot his last name, but or or was Jerome his last name? But I know he did choreograph the 1961 version of West Side Story.
Okay. Wow.
And also shake what my ancestors gave me. I think it was based on an article I did on Hub Pages. In my Jackson, we cannot forget the African American dance, the Jackson family. Oh, they involved in that. We gotta have.
They reinvented their own dance, that's for sure.
Yes. So to the future and beyond, we have the dance. Is we don't know what the future of African American dance might bring.
That's true. So how does it compare like to Latin dancing? It's kind of a different genre. You see a lot of interaction or
Or,
commonality between the two
or
styles.
with Latin dance, I know there's like hip movement involved in that, like with African American
Yeah,
dance. While like Europe centric dance has, let's say, more structure.
yeah,
And like in slavery times, the mainstream society,
yeah, yeah.
considered African dance like primitives,
Sure, sure.
inappropriate. And
And,
like a
and
certain indigenous people's dance was considered like it has some like isolations in it, and it was considered like inappropriate or primitive because that status quo didn't understand it.
well, sure, sure. A lot of minority groups, the Indians and other natives. Yeah, just different what was accepted. Well, today it's everywhere. I mean, black dancing, everything's more appropriate. And obviously, when TV and social media came out, then we can see what other
Like
cultures are doing.
TikTok
That's
dance
exciting.
challenges, different social media dance challenges like
Yeah.
hashtag this.
Have you ever done a dance challenge?
I would like to.
Yeah,
I
that'd be cool.
would. Yes, trying to adapt in the stage and or screen is just so much I have research I have to do. Not only just the dances, I have to like costumes of those matching those eras
Hmm.
and also like different places go on like time travel, different places and times.
God bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Choreography, you gotta get that together. Audition different dancers and like sit with sets and stuff.
Hmm.
Like from Africa to like different parts of the country, like the slavery territory, and then like Harlem, New York, like the Harlem Renaissance,
Sure, sure. That's a whole different time.
and like TV shows and like music video shows. That's like one of the ways I learned how to dance, watching music videos.
Well, that's good. That's where we're all picking up those different kinds of things. You obviously have a big passion for this part. And I have a good friend of mine who's a choreographer. I remember doing things on stage, and that's hard. It's hard to choreograph anything and keep up.
Yeah,
And I'm not very
and,
talented like that. Thankfully, I have friends who are patient. There's a lot of things I can't do.
and
You know,
also I
I
mentioned like the 1950s, 1958. That was when the Alvin Ailey Dance Company was introduced.
yeah.
He was a student of Catherine Dunham.
Okay, okay. That goes way back. You mentioned the zoot suits earlier. I remember those. They're all big and square, and a
Yes,
lot of room in there to move.
and
Yeah.
also like the you probably remember in the 1980s those women wearing those power suit shoulder pads.
Oh yeah, dude, like that was my era.
Yeah, we came from the 1940s because like
Mhm.
in times of war there's like rationing.
Yeah, oh
And
yeah.
like her husband or whoever, the male she loved, he's off in the war and he left his suits behind. So, hey, turn that to like a suit of her own or something.
Funny we had to leave things behind sometimes and reinvent ourselves. So yeah, going back. Obviously, you like poetry. Is there any other kind of writing that you like to do?
Well, I'm working on my third book right now. It's called Make Money While Sitting on Your Ass, where the ass is spelled United States of America, dollar sign, dollar sign. Well,
Yeah,
I can speak of my own experience about trying to navigate through the like changing like workplace and things you could do to like make money. Um,
sure.
also another inspiration for me was the 2020 pandemic, where people lost their jobs or their
Oh
jobs
yeah,
had moved remotely. There's like
yeah.
people who think that working from home remotely is not a real job, but it is. And there's like another book I remember checking out a library where working from home it's been
Yeah.
around before even electricity.
Oh yeah. This is nothing new. It's a different
Yeah,
medium to
like
do
for
so.
example, it like an ale house or a funeral home where the downstairs is like the business, while like the upstairs or like a back area of the place that's like the living quarters
The,
of the owner.
yeah, real common back in the day, and still in some places around the world, where your house is in your shop. Absolutely, yeah, or build a garage or whatever it is. That's something. It's crazy. Working from home is not easy because you have a lot of distractions. I find that in my own business. There's distractions everywhere. When you go into a place, you know there are a certain amount of hours, and somebody's always watching you. Most people tend to work harder when they're being watched than on their own. It varies among all of us, but this, at least from my experience, there's a lot more distractions. Being at home, when I wake up, when I get started, I don't know, my third cup of coffee now. It's just different things going, watching the goldfish over here, the dog over there, and always
Mhm.
something going on. But if you can remain focused and determined, anything can be done. You can learn a new dance at home or start a new rave or something. It's crazy, crazy. So I like that. All right, so you got a couple degrees. Who helped you or edits your work or looks over things for you?
Well, my mom edits my book. She has a degree in, she's a retired teacher. She has a degree in elementary education with a
Okay,
minor in, what's that? Oh, language arts from Murray State University. That's in
okay,
Murray, Kentucky.
okay, okay. You get back to Kentucky a lot?
Not as often as I should.
Yeah,
I try my best to visit sometime.
sure. I was there last year. Spent some time in Tennessee, Kentucky, and Georgia. And every time I get a chance to go somewhere, I'm always want to look for somewhere new, something different,
If
a
you
town
happen
no
to
one's ever heard of.
go, you
Yeah.
might want to stop by a place. It's called like Bob's Fiesta Burger and
Yeah?
try a fruit salad shake from there. It's delicious.
I'm all about the food. Let me tell you that. I love it. I spent a lot of time in Hawaii also. They got a different kind of dance, and I'm told that Hulu they don't move their wrist, just the hand. So the wrist kind of I don't I can't figure that one out, but just it's different, and they're all related in one way or another. It makes you feel good. You expand it. You try something different, and I think everyone wants to have their own unique whatever it is, and that's almost impossible because we're all intertwined, especially the age of television and social media. We're definitely intertwined in the different things that we do. I'm glad the foods are pretty much unique, but there's so many fusions going on. Korean American fusion, just different things, which is great. But it's also important to keep the uniqueness to the different cultures. So that makes it exciting. So, anyways, how do people find your books again?
On Amazon and other outlets, like let's say Barnes and Noble or Books a Million, or I just say Amazon,
Yeah,
or if Apple Books, I might need to see if I can get it on there. Just different outlets I probably do know and some I don't.
sure. So obviously, one of them is called Free to Be V, which is you. And what's the other one called?
The Eclectic Mind of V.
The eclectic mind of V. I always have a hard time pronouncing that word, eclectic mind of V. And obviously, very eclectic. I'm looking at the blouse you wear now, lollipops with heart. That's eclectic in its own right.
Yes, it's comfy, and I got it on sale at Torrid.
There we go. Always looking for the right place to go. All right. Well, before I let you go, is there any inspiration for those that aspiring artists or poets or authors?
Give credit where it's due or there's due. And I also want to give a big shout out to Precious Digital Marketing Agency. They've been helping me out with the marketing and promotion of my books. And we're trying to get a crowdfunding site together.
Great, great. That's important that we help one another out, and right, and give credit where credit's due. If someone helped you, or even if they didn't, you need to let people know how you were treated and how you were helped and how you were guided. So we
Okay.
deeply appreciate those reminders. All right. So world, you heard it. It's V about me. It's free to be V. Electric V, mind of V. Waterfall Adams or Veronica. I think she goes by a lot of different things, but right now living in Alabama, and who knows what the future holds. So anyone out there want to reach out to her, purchase her book, or interview her, please reach out. She can be found on LinkedIn and all of the Facebook, of course, and other social media outlets. So whatever you do, if you have an idea, you want to share something, if you want to learn something, please reach out to shows like ours and other podcasts and social media shows and go out there and let people know what's on your mind. Well, that being said, you're in the office once again with Joseph Stephen Skoda III. I salute you. Thank you for joining us. Make sure you subscribe to our channel, share, and more importantly, let us know your ideas. Have a great day, everyone. Bye. If you liked our show, please subscribe to our YouTube channel or find us on any social media platform, Instagram, of course, Facebook. Like, subscribe, share. We appreciate it. Let us know your thoughts and join our team. Anyways, we appreciate you staying tuned week after week, day after day, because we continuously build up our network to bring to you what you're asking for. Have a great day.